Happy Friendship Friday, folks. What does this cable made in 1992 in Japan have to do with the following picture? All right, time's up. Did you figure it out? If you didn't know, the answer is manual connection and settings. This is a 50-pin SCSI cable. I'm sure you already knew that because, of course, you were alive then and had high-quality ribbon cables like this for your serial devices. And if you remember back in the land of OG SCSI, what did you have to do? You could chain quite a bit of stuff on one of these cables, way more than you could on a parallel cable. You had to manually set and specify the dip switches for each device to let it know the number in the chain. You had to set precedent, you had to set priority, and you had to do it by hand in order for everything to work together harmoniously. What does any of that have to do with the picture I just had on screen of me and the amazing, amazing Jonathan Crow from Ninja? Well, just to remind all of you that, yeah, we live in a remote world. A lot of us have remote friends, we have remote employees, but it is sometimes good to go have a manual connection. Giggity. Oh, and if you're freaking out about the fact that I'm not wearing a hat, I didn't wear hats for the majority of my life. In fact, I do have hair. I was told for a long time I wasn't a hat guy, so now I'm making up for it. So I had the fortune yesterday to attend a sysadmin conference in Boston, ServiceNow Summit, which, on a quick side note, if you do work in the MSP space, please get out there occasionally and go visit the other half of our industry, the sysadmin part. I think you'd be surprised how similar their world is to ours. And I met a ton of MSPs at this show. Don't really consider themselves to be MSPs, but they are. Go make some friends. It was an opportunity to connect with Jonathan, who does live up in New England near me, but not really close by. Maine is pretty far away from where I live in Massachusetts. For those of you that are time zone or geographically blind, that would probably be like me assuming that somebody who lives in San Diego can just go out for a beer with somebody from Oakland. So maybe not quite that extreme. So very nice to see Jonathan, and it reminded me as we were at this show together, just kind of exploring, seeing what sysadmins were up to and trying to make friends with people, the power of just occasionally interacting with people in person. There is a concept I talked about in a video last year I'll bring up again. It is called Dunbar's number. Cracked Magazine did a way better job explaining this years ago as the monkey sphere, and it basically highlights this idea as primates, which, sorry folks, we are a type of primate, we are a type of mammal. Most primates are really designed to live in small family groups. Those groups could get big, 30, 50, 60 members, but that's about it. And so your brain really was created to not really be able to process and maintain relationships with more than somewhere around that many people. Dunbar's number took it a little further and said, well, listen, we're a little better than primates. So at most, it seems to be the average number of simultaneous relationships with other humans that you can really maintain in your brain seems to be somewhere around about 150. And if that seems like an exceptionally small number, that's because it absolutely is. And it explains a lot of behaviors that you probably exhibit without realizing it. My favorite example, if you have ever been in traffic at any point in your life and you have sat in the car and for a moment the thought has entered your mind, I wish everybody would move, I have somewhere to be, you have literally experienced Dunbar's number. In that moment, you forgot that everyone around you was not also thinking that exact same thing. For a moment, everyone else was NPCs. Most of us are smart enough and have the social skills to not actively project that throughout our day, but we can, when we're not paying attention, drop right into it, like in that traffic example. And it highlights that really, we are not fundamentally that great at maintaining quality relationships with other humans, especially when we're separated from them. We're just not. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. Hearing me say all this on a Friendship Friday, you might be saying, okay, so what? Great. Well, I want you to consider for a minute that Our entire industry is relationships. If you're an MSP, well, it's relationships with employees, with clients, everything around you. If you're a vendor, it's all of that plus relationships with MSPs. At a certain point, the amount of people that you interact with, that you connect with, that you talk to, that you see, that all of it online, remotely, it can become hard to just remember that every single one of those entities is a thinking, breathing, living human that has their own goals, wants, ambitions, dreams, ideas that are just as valid to them as yours are to you. A great way to remind yourself of that is to just go somewhere and interact with people. On this Friendship Friday, if you are fortunate enough to be in the vicinity of some other folks that you have a relationship with in this channel, maybe your employees, maybe your clients, maybe there are vendors or other MSPs you know that are near you, find some time to just meet up, see somebody, go rekindle that in-person moment just for a second. If you don't have that, then pick somebody outside of the channel. Just don't forget to go remind yourself of why you initially had a relationship with this person to begin with, and re-cement that fact that they are in fact a real person by seeing them in person and spending some time with them. If you want to reach across the aisle to our sad and lonely friends working in the basements of Fortune 5000s everywhere, that's right, sysadmins, go to a sysadmin conference. Sysadmins are people too. They need love just like the rest of us. Have a great Friday, everybody. Oh, for anybody interested, I don't remember the exact model, but this came from a VAC station, I don't know, 3100, something like that. I was very fortunate at a previous time in my life to go to a engineering college that had a lot of really cool antique computer equipment and lab equipment that would get recycled, and they would let us go through it. Somewhere along the way, I departed with the VAC station itself, which I now regret, but that's what this came from.